Hi, welcome to Santosha Rose. My name's Sam, and today we have a practice that can be done any time of the day where you'd like a little boost. I'm really excited to share it with you. See you on the mat. We're going to start today's practice in an extended wide leg child's pose. So taking the knees to the outer edges of your mat, feet coming together. And reach forward, folding down. And just allowing yourself to relax and release here. Maybe your head comes down to the floor. If it doesn't, you might want to get a pillow or a block or something to just rest your head down. Just letting your body settle, creating this space with the wide legs for the body, just to relax down towards the floor. Feeling the breath moving here, coming in, expanding in the belly, filling up, exhaling, releasing, letting go of any tension that you might be holding on to. And taking one more cycle of breath here. Slowly walking the hands in, bring the hands coming back towards the legs. We're going to take the knees together and just doing some wrist rotations. So bringing the thumbs onto the inside, wrapping the hands around the thumbs. We're just going to take some circles here. Just noticing the sensations as we start to bring some movement into the wrists. And taking those circles in the other direction. Fabulous. We're going to come onto our tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, just taking that minute here to check the alignment. Nice wide fingers giving us a strong foundation on the floor. You're going to bring the tummy down, lifting the head up, opening up in the chest, then pressing through the hands, curling through the spine, chin comes into chest, and then syncing that up with the breath. Inhaling, tummy comes down, head lifts, exhaling, navel comes into spine, chin into chest, curling up. And just doing a couple more of those in time to your own breath. If it feels good for you, next time you curl through your spine, you can take your hips back towards your heels and then coming forward, almost imagining you're pushing a ball with your nose along the floor, and then pressing through the hands, coming back to that tabletop, curling through the spine and taking the hips back again. And just allowing a playfulness, a flow of energy to come into your practice today. And then we're going to come back to our tabletop position, nice wide fingers, planting down through the right hand. We're going to lift the left hand up off the floor, opening up in the chest, reaching the left fingertips up towards the sky. Maybe your body opens this much, maybe the opening's not quite so much yet, that's absolutely fine. Keeping the head neutral or taking the gaze up to those left fingertips. And we're going to thread the needle, so bringing this left hand through, coming behind the right wrist, bringing the left shoulder, the left side of the head onto the floor, and then we're going to lift up with the right arm, opening up on the right hand side. And then taking the right hand behind the back, coming over towards the left thigh. And breathing here. Reaching the right arm up Beautiful. Planting it back down on the floor, pressing through that right hand, uncurling with the left, and then the left hand opening back up again. And then bringing the left hand down next to the right, and just taking that moment to notice the difference on the two sides of the body here. And planting through the left hand now, reaching the right arm up, opening up on this right hand side, and then threading the right hand through, coming onto the right shoulder, the right side of the head, and then lifting that left arm, opening up on this left hand side. Taking the left hand behind the back, coming over towards the right thigh. And breathing here. Reaching back up through the left hand again, reaching up first, then planting that left hand down on the floor, pressing the weight through the left hand, uncurling, reaching the right arm up, and bringing the right hand back down to join the left. Fabulous. We're going to take the hands a little bit further ahead, about a hand width further in front, so we've not got that alignment anymore of the shoulders and the wrists. I'm going to tuck the toes underneath and just hover the knees up off the floor. So beginning that engagement, starting to feel that engagement through the core. Maybe starting to feel a little bit of a heat, a little bit of shake here, and then pressing the hips up to the ceiling, coming up into our first downward dog of the practice. And be super gentle here in this downward dog, maybe pedaling the legs, bending one leg, bending the other. Keeping a bit of fluidity here, starting to wake up the body. You're going to come up onto our tiptoes, bringing the knees down. So we have 2 feet, 2 knees, 2 hands on the floor. We're going to bend the elbows in towards the body, bringing the chin and the chest down, making our 8-point pose. Chin just a little bit ahead of the fingers, hips still lifting up to the ceiling. And then scooping forward, we're going to come onto our tummy, untucking the toes and lifting up into a baby cobra. So you could let go with the hands here, just using the hands for balance. Bringing the forehead back down to touch on the floor. I'm going to push back up through hands and knees, tuck the toes, taking the hips back up into downward facing dog. And again, if you want to keep that pedaling through the legs, as we start to wake up the body here, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. I'm going to bring the feet together, planting down through the left foot. Lift the right leg up in a nice straight line, keeping the hips nice and even. You're going to bend that right knee, bringing the right foot coming between the hands. So you might need to put it down and do a little bit of a shuffle. Maybe you can step all the way through. You're going to bring the left knee down to the floor, untucking in the left toes and checking that alignment from the heel up to the knee. Then pressing through that right leg, I'm going to lift the arms up, palms facing in towards each other. Either keeping the gaze neutral or taking the gaze between the hands. And then bringing the hands down by the sides, squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest. Breathe here. You're going to plant the hands down on either side of the foot, tucking the left toe, lifting the left knee. We're going to take the right leg back into a plank. Pressing through our foundations, strong hands, fingers pressing into the mat. And we're going to bend the elbows into the body, coming down in a nice straight line in that plank until we come onto our tummy, untucking the toes. And this time we're going to go up into a full cobra. So lifting up, keeping the hips on the floor, not locking out in the elbows. And bending the arms again, bringing the head back down to the floor. And then tucking the toes, coming back up through hands and knees, back up into downward facing dog. Maybe this downward facing dog's starting to feel a little bit easier. Maybe it isn't. Just noticing what your body's feeling like in the practice today. And bring the feet together again, planting down this time through the right foot. We're going to lift the left leg, keeping those hips nice and square, and bending that leg in, planting that left leg between the hands. Right knee comes down, untucking the right toes, checking that straight line from the heel up to the knee, and then pressing through the left foot. We're going to lift the body, palms facing in towards each other, gaze staying neutral or lifting up between the hands. And then bringing the arms down by the sides, opening up in the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Before bringing the hands back down, planting the hands on either side of the foot, tucking the right toe, lifting the right knee. We're going to come back into that plank again. Squeezing the tummy in, feeling that engagement of the core, keeping a nice straight line. We're going to bend the arms, coming down onto the tummy, untucking the toes and lifting up again into that cobra. Hips staying on the floor, elbows keeping a bend in them, not locking out. And then bending the arms, coming back down. And we're going to press back, coming through hands and knees, coming back into our extended child's pose again. Hips coming down towards the feet, arms maybe reaching in front, or if it feels better for you, you can bring the hands towards the feet. Curling up here, we're going to take a couple of restful breaths here. Just allowing yourself to notice how is your body feeling in this practice. Now we're going to come up slowly onto our knees. It's lifting up, coming up off our sitting bones. I'm going to take the left leg out to one side, reaching both arms up to the ceiling, feeling that length through the spine. Then we're going to bring the left hand down onto the left leg, taking the right hand over, keeping the shoulder and the hip nice and open, feeling that stretch down the right hand side. And then inhaling, bringing both arms up. Exhaling, we're going to take the right hand down onto the floor and the left hand over, creating a straight line from the left foot all the way up to the left hand. Inhaling again, coming up to center. Going to bring the left knee back in and tucking both of the toes underneath. So we're lifting the heels up a little bit here. Both arms reaching up towards the ceiling first of all, then keeping the right hand where it is, bringing the left hand down onto the heel, hips coming forward, right arm staying lifted, just feeling that slight bend coming into the spine. And then engaging through the core, lifting the left arm back up. I'm going to take the right arm back, feeling that lift, that half camel pose. And then engaging again, lifting back up. You're going to take the right leg out to the side this time, reaching up first and then coming over, down this right leg, keeping the shoulders and the hips nice and open. And then inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, bringing the left hand down onto the floor, right hand reaching up and over, creating that straight line from the right fingertips all the way down to the right toes. We're going to engage through the core to lift up, bringing the right knee back in and just crossing the ankles over at the back. We're going to come back over through cross-legged position to reach the legs out in front. And taking the moment here to ground down through our sitting bones, lifting up through the crown of the head, relaxing down through the shoulders. You're going to flex the toes towards the body and just slowly walking the fingertips down the legs, and doing this keeping the back as straight as possible. So we're not curling around here, we're keeping a nice straight open back. Maybe you get to your knees, your shins, maybe you can reach all the way down to your feet. If you can reach your feet, taking your 2-piece fingers on each hand round your big toes, feeling that sense of length, of extension through the spine, keeping the spine nice and straight. And breathing here. And we're going to release, bring the hands back up the legs, bring the feet in towards each other, soles of the feet touching, but keeping a nice space here so we create a diamond shape with the legs. And this time we are going to allow ourselves to fold forward. So clasping the hands over the top of the toes and then folding forward into this wide legged forward fold. And allowing your breath to help with this folding here, finding that length, that expansion on the inhale. You'll be finding a little bit more fold movement on the exhale. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. You're going to take the hands onto the outer edges of the knees, closing the knees with the hands. I'm going to take the right foot diagonally across towards the left foot over towards the right hip. I'm going to cross the right leg over the top, planting that right foot down on the floor. Check that your right sitting bones are still on the floor, so you might need to just move that foot out a little bit to check that we're still sitting comfortably on both sitting bones here. We're going to inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Then exhale, we're going to take the twist to the right hand side, so wrapping the left hand round this top knee, taking the right hand behind. Using the breath here to inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, maybe finding that bit of a twist. And then coming back to center, we're going to uncross the legs in that direction and then taking them in the other direction. So right foot coming diagonally across to the left hip here, crossing the left foot over the top and checking that engagement, both sitting bones still flat on the floor. Going to inhale, reach up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, take the twist towards the left. So hooking this right elbow around the knee here. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, finding the twist. And then inhale, coming back to center. You're going to uncross the legs, straightening the legs out, just giving them a little bit of a shape, up and down and side to side. And then we're going to bend the knees in, planting the feet flat on the floor, reaching the palms in front, coming down onto our backs, curling down slowly. So bringing one vertebrae at a time, coming down to the mat. You're going to take both arms out to the side, creating a T shape, lifting the legs up, engaging through the core. And we're going to take the knees over to the right hand side, using the core muscles here to move the legs slowly, not letting them collapse down, keeping that left shoulder blade on the floor. And taking a breath here. Engaging through the core to slowly lift the knees back up to center. And then keeping that sense of control, we're going to take them over to the left hand side. Using that control, not letting them just collapse at the last minute, keeping that right shoulder on the floor. And breathe. Engaging through the core, slowly bringing the knees back up and back up to center. You're going to tuck the knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the knees, just taking a rock from side to side, giving yourself a little massage through the spine. And then planting the feet down on the floor, letting the hands come by the waist, palms facing up to the ceiling. And breathing here. The palms in front of the chest. The light in me bows to the light in you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thanks so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you enjoyed it, do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know how you found it in the comments below. See you again soon.